So take the opportunity, ask me any questions you want, and let's go from here. Anyone want to start? Go ahead.
So, how important do you think language ability for an enterprise leader?
I think it's critically important to be able to have language skills that will assist you in what you do, because increasingly in today's world we communicate a lot with not just people in our own countries, but we work with people from all over the world. And it is very important to have some basic skills in language. It doesn't necessarily have to be in English, but to this day, English is still very prevalent, and one of the more easy tools that we can use to communicate with over a lot of countries. But it's always good to be mindful that not everybody speaks English, and so we try our best to accommodate for people who may not have as good language skills as we do, and to be mindful that we're very lucky to be able to have these skills in hand.
And if you encounter challenge that emphasize the language ability.
It's always a challenge, especially when you're first learning the languages. But I think through hard work and practice, and most importantly, having an interest in languages will help along with the process of learning languages. And hopefully with that in hand, that would help you to accomplish a lot of the goals that you want to accomplish.
Okay, sorry about one. So I am the vice president of a club in United Senior High School, and that club is trying to get, because in the West they have a lot of interesting ideas, especially like entrepreneurship.
Sure.
And also English communication.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get students here in Taiwan to learn about the idea of entrepreneurship, starting from high school.
Sure.
And so do you have any tips for starting a business and entrepreneurship for high school students?
Well, I think entrepreneurship can be very challenging. And I think it's most important to keep in mind that you always want to do something that you originally have an interest in. So something that interests you, that you have passion for, will be a good start for whatever entrepreneurship that you might want to pursue in the future. And so make that your passion, make that your goal, so it'll make it much more enjoyable while you're trying, because through entrepreneurship you will always face difficulties, up and downs, and if you don't have that passion or that desire, you could give up very easily. And so having that interest, having that passion will help you along to get over, mountaintops and accomplish your goals. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Like multi-language ability is an advantage, and I would like to know what kind of language skills we need to master in order to have competitive language ability advantages and play a role in a workplace.
I can't speak for everyone, but for myself, I speak approximately 4 to 5 languages depending on the day. So I think starting young, at your age, I think is a good time to start picking up languages. It is an advantage, and I said, of course, English is a core skill, but there are other languages that you can pick up. I not only I speak Mandarin, of course, English, Japanese, French. It's just a little bit of everything. But it's, once again, comes back to you have to have interest in it, and you have to have the ability or the time to have more contact with the language in order to keep it up. So whether it's from reading or you have conversations that you have with friends that speak the languages that you're interested in. And for me, half the time it's because of work that I need to have those language skills, and I get to use them. And that's how you retain your language skills better, is to be able to use them all the time. Sure.
Recently, I faced some difficulties when I'm trying to improve my English ability.
Right.
And I'm curious about how did you cultivate your English ability in your past?
For me, my English started when I was really young. Yeah, starting at a young age, I was always in an environment that allowed me to speak English. So English for me wasn't a very difficult thing, but for me to share language difficulties, for example, my French. I picked up French in high school, but wasn't very proficient in using it for a very long time until I got back into work and I had more contact with business partners that were French, and I got to use the language a little more. So I think that how to overcome difficulties in language is practice, practice, practice. And you could do it in a variety of ways. Reading, even watching, movies in that language, shows in that language, YouTube. That will always help. But it's always practice, 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 and hearing it helps a lot. So I think the best way is if you have an interest, just go in and find any sort of media or tools that are in the language that you want to improve upon, and I think that will help.
How do you maintain your passion for your work as you have to repeatedly do it every day?
Well, that depends on what your goal is. So one thing is you don't try to make your work very repetitive every day. There are always new challenges on anything that you do. So you find those things to do while you're at work. Yes, everybody has daily office work or desk work that you have to do, but there are always other things that you can pick up, new things that as you start your working life, that you'll find out that, okay, well, yeah, I have my desk work to do, but are there ways that I can improve the job that I have, or helping the company, or helping another fellow workmate, and those are things that may give you more interest and make your work not seem as mundane as it could be. So I think it's up to you to define how your work is, or how your work day is, and how your working life is. So you have to find that. Yeah.
Recently, I've been really trying to improve my public speaking skills, and one of the practices, or one of the to show my hard work was the presentation I just did.
Right.
And as someone who natively speaks English, right?
You could say that.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see your viewpoint and what you think of my presentation, and what could I've done better, etc.
So first of all, yes, you did a great presentation. Is there any room for improvement? I always think there's room for improvement for anything that you do. On your side, I can't give you too much right now, but I think because the presentation that you gave us was more or less on the whole TOEIC experience.
Yes.
I think your presentation skills at the moment are pretty well presented. Your speaking voice, your tone, your overall presentation, the way you were standing and presenting, I think that's to point and very impressive. Content-wise, I think you could always add more.
Okay. Yeah.
To me, the content was probably a little bit more. You could add more of your own stories inside. Yeah, and that would make it more lively, and let people see more of who you are and your personality. although it is presented pretty well. But I think content-wise, there's always more that you can add.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, recently I'm going to join a competition, and there are 3 parts of the competition,
Right.
including a composition. And it usually will be like writing a business letter or some kinds of this. And
Okay.
I'm curious about that. Do you have any tips to clearly write a business letter?
Okay, so I run into that problem all the time myself when I have to write letters, and I don't just let my assistants and secretaries write. I write it myself. First you have to understand what the format is, who you are writing to, and how, because the way business letters are written have a very set format. You have your date, your to who, to whom, and then the body of it and then whatnot. So first of all, you want to understand what the structure is, depending on who you're writing to. If it's a very formal letter or is it a more casual letter. If it's a formal business letter, then there is a set of how you're supposed to present it on letterhead, right? Content of a letter also, it just depends. Make it clear, make it short, to the point. For a business letter, that's all you need to just get your point across. Of course, you may want to add a few lines to say hi and whatnot, but the point of the business letter is to just get your point across. So make everything as clear, simple as possible, and I think that's the best effect. You write a whole lot, a whole essay, and the person that's reading it, goes, so what is she trying to say? That doesn't work. It's just clear to the point. ABC, I need this. I need your assistance on this issue. Please pay attention to this and that. Let me know if there are any further questions, and then that's it. Usually, that's my recommendation. Yeah. Keep it simple. And once again, congratulations to all of you. Okay, great. Thank you.